I'm here to talk to you today about the effects of technology in today's youth. There's many benefits and many consequences to the access that today's children have to the internet and cyber media and things of that nature. Some of those benefits are you can stay connected with your family. You have children that can Skype with their parents. You have kids that are away in boarding school. You even have soldiers that are deployed that can Skype, instant message, things of that nature. Also, children today with the internet have a wealth of information at their hands. Gone are the days of the Dewey Decimal System. Many kids today don't even know what the Dewey Decimal System is. But with the access to the internet, you have information at your fingertips. You can type in and get whatever information you need whenever you want it instantly. It's good for research. They can help with their schoolwork if you have parents that are busy. You have kids that can look up their schoolwork, do research. You have young adults in college that can research their papers at home, have access to any library in the world. It's amazing. You also take into consideration that many households that are in a rural setting that may not have access to a large library or a museum or an art center can access music and art online and be exposed to things that quite possibly 20, 30 years ago they would never get to see. You take into consideration also, along with that, education system. Educators can stay up to date with the current information as it's being discovered versus years ago the new information wasn't available until it went through the publication process and the textbooks made it into the classroom. Educators also have a wider support system. If they have questions, concerns, or updates on current information, there's access to the web to anybody in the world that's an expert in that field. Educators can also employ visual learning systems into their classrooms to give children another aspect to their learning abilities. For some children, it's much, much easier to see it versus reading it or hearing about it. They've also done studies about development. Studies have shown that children have higher cognitive skills if they're exposed to technology between the ages of 4 and 7. James Large, co-author of The Information Behavior of a New Generation, Children and Teens in the 21st Century, says, continued exposure to technology has shown that children develop the ability to take bits and pieces of information from multiple sources such as Google and Wikipedia and develop a broader understanding of the subject. Taking all those things into consideration, there are some negative aspects to technology in today's youth. Sadly, there's a disconnection from the family. Gone are the days of families sitting down and having dinner together or spending time together. Catherine Hertline, author of Technology in Couple and Family Relationships, says, in some ways, parents' roles have been diminished because children are more adept to using communicative technologies than adults. As a result, parents not be aware of the websites that their children are visiting. You have children today that their life revolves around their cell phones or the internet and media, that parents in the homes are being replaced as mentors by athletes, pop stars, and movie stars. This creates a huge problem because we have the wrong mentors for children. Another problem is the exposure to cyberbullying. Many kids today suffer from cyberbullying because it's for lack of a better term, it's a unaccountable crime. If you're doing it over the internet where somebody can't reach you, somebody can't touch you, somebody can't hold you accountable as easily, cyberbullying is much more prevalent. And then, on the aspect of educators, with all this wealth of information on the internet, not all of it is true, not all of it is factual. Educators in the school system have to combat this misinformation and try to reteach children the real legitimate verified facts. You take another aspect that we need to take into consideration is children are adopting a more sedentary lifestyle. They're not getting the exercise and the physical activity that they need to stay healthy. Many children are reporting more frequent instances of neck, shoulder, finger, wrist, and back pain from playing on electronics, playing video games, playing on their phone, and things of that nature. Now, taking all these things into consideration, there's many great advantages to technology in today's youth. The ability for parents to be able to monitor their children. There's tracking software that you can put on their cell phones or their tablets that you can know their whereabouts at any point in time. Being able to educate children in rural settings that may be homeschooled or have a long distance to libraries and stuff like that, they have access to information and education. And like I mentioned before, children have a higher cognitive ability if they're exposed to electronics and digital media between the ages of 4 and 7. But with all these things being said, we must monitor the safety of our children. Child pornography and cyberbullying are at epidemic stages. It's a huge problem in the world today. We have to monitor our children online access to appropriate content. We have to ensure that there's proper education with verified information. And finally, we have to ensure time is set aside for physical activity to avoid this sedentary lifestyle and avoid these damaging aspects of a growing, developing body. These steps must be taken to ensure that our children grow up to be healthy, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally, because they are our future, and they are what we love. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.